we're always like this. Oh yeah, I'm a top producer. I do like tons of volume. I'm like killing it. You know, like, do we talk about when you're actually struggling? Like, the struggle's real. And in this industry, like, I could just say in this week alone, I had maybe 7 911 calls from my agents. And they were at their point where they were so stressed out about it because it's getting harder with lenders. And they were just so stressed out to the capacity where that room could serve purpose, where I'm like, you know what? Take a 5-minute. I'll hand it over to me. Let me work on it. Let me get this 911, pass me the baton. Take a 5-minute. Let me work on it.
Hit it. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait. Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
All right, this is Real Talk with Carmen Costa. That was the second take we did because I was way too loud with this mic.
Very.
It'll be in our bloopers. Don't worry about it.
100%.
Anyways, we just set up a meditation room. You walked in, you were shocked. You were like, wow, what's this
It
meditation
actually looks
room?
very good. I'm going to have some images floating so you're going to see it somewhere here.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So Edward came to me. Edward's on the team. He's the head trainer of, TCG Lending Centres. And he said, hey, what are your thoughts on a meditation room? We have a lot of rooms here on Centennial, Barton and Centennial, our location. What are your thoughts? And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, really? You're asking me? Of course we can have a meditation room. Are you serious? Like 3 days we were all set up and everything was, set for the team. I really, what's key to me for the team is wellness, right? Like, wellness is very important. We do yoga every other Thursday. We're going to start, Marcus wants to take up. He's like, hey, guys, who's interested in kickboxing? So we're going to start kickboxing as well as a team.
Field.
Yeah, so we're working together as a group. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people, I get this is our job. Right, I get it. But we're all human beings with personal lives, right? So a lot of us, struggle in different aspects of our life, right? So the importance for me was, I want to make sure, and wholeheartedly, yes, they're my agents. They work for TCG, just like Eric always says, I pay a split. Yes, you pay a split. But wholeheartedly, I care for my agents individually. Their mental health, their well-being as a whole, right? That's important to me. So, the meditation room is good because you could be having a rough day. You're here at the office, or even I said to the team, even if you're driving by, just stop in and sit in the meditation room for a bit and just, clear your mind, right? And you know what it's about. We have, we do once a month mindful meditation with Philip Young. We'll put his contact info. Great mentor for me. He's been with me and helped me, develop myself for years. But I think it's important that the team has that aspect, right? Where they can, it's not all about mortgages. I always say this, it's not all about mortgages. We have personal lives we're navigating through and trying to, live, right? And we all have those personal struggles. Yeah. You could be running a business, but you have a daughter, a son, the struggles are real, and that consumes your whole life. I don't know about you, anything to do with my kids will throw me off balance, right? Where if they're affected, they're hurt, something's happening with them. I don't care who you are as a human, that affects you, right? If it's your partner, if it's your family, these are things that I want to ensure that my agents are connecting to, centering themselves, and then moving on with work, right? So, I wholeheartedly, I have to emphasize, care about each individual agent. So I think this room integrates who I am as a human being towards my agents.
And because you've been meditating for quite a while, are you helping the agents that have never meditated before? Because sometimes you need a little bit of guidance, especially when you're starting. As
you
to
do.
How,
Yeah.
Are you there for them as well?
100%.
Yeah.
So like I said to you, every end of the month, Philip Young comes in and does guided meditation. So he does the meditation with us. Philip said something on Monday that is key. It doesn't matter if you meditate 1 minute or 30 minutes. It's all about recognizing and just taking the time and stopping and recognizing that one point in like the present moment.
That's interesting because
That's it.
it's not the first time I've heard this. Actually, in the last month, I've heard many people say that it's not about the time that you're meditating. It's about what you're doing in that moment, right?
100%. You have to be present. And I always tell the team, like, so I send out personally to my team, I send out daily messages. You're on our chat.
Yeah.
The daily messages go out. And some team, like somebody on the team will be like, oh my gosh, I was going through this. I'm like, well, that's where I get my ideas, right? So if somebody's struggling with, I don't remember what today was. Today was,
I didn't read today's. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I know. I apologize.
I think
Oops.
the other day was energies. It was about energies and controlling the energies around you, keeping centered. So what I do is I apply it to whoever's struggling in the group. Like if somebody comes to me and they're struggling with something in particular, I will gear it towards that and write it out. So then, everybody, you'll notice people will be like, yes, you're right. And then so that one individual who was struggling with it is like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this. Everybody's going through this. And I think that's the problem, with this industry is like with the mortgage industry is we're always like this. Oh yeah, I'm a top producer. I do like tons of volume. I'm like killing it. Like, do we talk about when you're actually struggling? Like the struggle's real. And in this industry, like I could just say in this week alone, I had maybe 7 911 calls from my agents. And they were at their point where they were so stressed out about it because it's getting harder with lenders. And they were just so stressed out to the capacity where that room could serve purpose, where I'm like, you know what? Take a 5-minute. I'll hand it over to me. Let me work on it. Let me get this 911, pass me the baton. Take a 5-minute. Let me work on it, right? And I always feel like, I'm the what is it?
You're a firefighter?
A firefighter. And I said this to my husband, I'm like, I'm a firefighter because that's what I'm doing. I want to take that stress away from my agents, and help them. Right?
We'll put that on your business card. So CEO, broker, and firefighter.
100%. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like with the team, like we don't talk about the struggles. And so when you mention it and you put it in the chat, and I always try to do that, like vulnerability, put it in the chat. Everybody's going through it. So we have this fit chat where we're all doing the fitness challenge. It started getting a little quiet. So I put a message out. I was like, I'm exhausted. I don't know about anybody else, but this week I've been exhausted. And I talk about the team resting. This weekend I didn't rest. I worked all weekend because the rates were going up and I thought, okay, I'll contact my client list, and exactly what I did. And I worked all week that by yesterday, I was exhausted. I got out of bed. I was dragging. I was so tired, and he's like, just sleep in till like, because I get up at 4, sleep in till like 7. What is wrong with you? Where I'm like, no, it's just routine to get up at 4:30 or 4, right? Yeah. I talk about this with the team, and the team will hold me accountable. They know I'm like, rest. You need to rest because your body's going to tell you.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, your body will tell you. And exactly what happened yesterday was that. I was like, I'm done. I was going to go home and work out. And then I was like, I'm not working out. And I told Zoraine, I'm taking the night off. Not like I still accepted calls with the team and, because that's top priority for me to help them. But it was more about like, I'm not working out, and I'm going to be honest, I'm taking the rest of the week off because my body is telling me to take it off. But I preach this to the team, right? Jamie, you're on that. So you have read that where guys, you need to rest. You need to rest. And it's key to rest in a high stressful job. That's why for me, when Edward came to me last week, he's like, hey, what are your thoughts on a meditation room? I was like, yeah, man, let's do it, right? So, we implemented it within 2 days. It was up and set up. There's a couple of things I'm waiting to come in, which is like the carpet and some of the pillows. We're just waiting for that to come in. I did go to Hooked on Holistics. Let's tie her in. Nan is amazing. I don't know if you've ever been to a holistic store. If anybody's been to a holistic store, I went in on Sunday. I'm like, hey, Nan, I need this, this, and that. She came to the store. It's not usually open, but Nan's good like that. So, but she was awesome. She put all these things together and they're in the room, right? And I'm like, this is amazing, right? So the next day I came in, I'm like, hey, Edward, look. He's like, oh, we just talked about it on Friday. I'm like, I know. Like, we need this meditation room. But I believe it serves purpose for anybody that's going in there that is stressed out, right? Have you ever been to like a spa and it's like just so relaxing? That was my intent for that room, right?
And it's awesome that you're doing these things because honestly, when you walk into other agencies, you feel that heavy pressure of work.
I don't
and
want
stress.
that here. Yeah, I don't want that
We're starting
here.
to see more and more. I mean, you as an individual,
I'm all about this,
You're all
yeah.
about that, but now that it's being represented around the office, it's amazing to see.
Yeah, we're looking at, so the next course, like Shannon brought to me, she's like, let's do a fitness room. I'm like, where am I going to put a fitness room? She's like a treadmill. And, she's right. Like, on their lunch break, they may want to just jump on a treadmill or bike. So we're looking to see about the rooms. I'm like, okay, now we're going to take up all the rooms. It's going to be like nobody's working. It's all like, so we are looking at that. But you are right. It's key and important for me, for the team and their well-being. I'll be honest with you. I always say this to the team, yes, go out, pound the pavement, get the business. But as soon as something's like, if my agent needs my help personally, I will drop everything. And I connect wholeheartedly to my agents, and I get affected when they're affected. Yeah. Right. So, to me, it's like, it's difficult because, Marcus on the team, his father and his sister, they went to aid Ukraine, right, with what's going on. I was devastated along, and every day I've been praying for him, like his parent, like his dad and his sister. It's affecting, like it affects me because I don't want him feeling that way, but I'm also an empath. So usually what people feel around me is what I'm feeling, right? So if somebody's affected, it affects me, right? But I wholeheartedly, and I don't call them to and be like, hey, is everything okay? Is everything okay? But it's more about like, I do wholeheartedly care about them because we are always like active. We're always like reacting to things when we're supposed to enjoy the moment. We're reacting to the moment, right? Do you ever know, like you're on guard, you're like, and you talk about agencies and other, brokerages out there. I had where an agent had joined and they were like, wow, it's so peaceful here. They were reacting all the time because they felt like their broker was attacking them, right? Or their broker house was attacking them, right? Or they had to look over their shoulder. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have that feeling. I still feel you. I feel you on that. But here, I want you to enjoy the present moment, right? Reminder, when you're dying on your deathbed, there's going to be another mortgage broker taking your business.
Yep, life goes on.
Life goes on. And as much as you think you are replaceable, everybody's replaceable. So what's important to you around your circle, it's about that moment and enjoying that moment with your human beings. Because in the end, when I look at what happened, with my father, in the end, who was around his bedside was not like, his foreman or site super. None of those people were around him. The buildings he was building, like none of those people were around him. It was his kids. Yeah. They like his last dying breath was with his kids. So what do you want when that time comes? Do you want to be remembered, as the best mortgage broker, or do you want to be remembered as the best father or the best mother? You know what I mean? Like, or the best aunt, or, like these are the things that I think people lose sight of because there's so much going on, right? And it's like, you're trying to just navigate. You get up and you react all the time. There's, we're human beings living on this earth plane that we should enjoy what's going on around us. Before the fast and everything, before I did, that fast and changed a lot of my perspective on life, I do remember just reacting all the time. I was always a reactive person. And I always would get so worked up and so stressed out about situations. Now I don't. And it's like sometimes people will call me and they're like, what's your issue? I'm like, I have never thought about you. Like, oh my God, do you think I sit there and think about you? I don't. Like, I honestly live in the present moment. And I think the moment that happens, it's pure joy. And I talk about pure joy, living in pure joy. Just living in pure joy, meaning you're not thinking of the future and you're not thinking of the past. You've forgiven yourself for the past and you're ready to take on this present moment and just enjoy every minute of it and just enjoy it and be present, right? And it's like, I just, when I look at that, I get goosebumps. When I talk about it, I get goosebumps because I honestly can say wholeheartedly, I've arrived, right? Where I'm so blessed at, 42, I'm not old, but 42, 42, I've got all these years to live that I've made it. And I actually love every human being. Whether you're difficult or not, I do. And, you know, people may think, oh, well, we've had our issues and that. Yeah, okay, that's been forgiven and done. And not forgiven to the point where I need to call you to tell you I forgive you. I forgive you for me, for me to feel better, because I'm not thinking about you. I'm not sitting there going, boop, boop, boop. I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? And it's sad because people will send emails and they're like, oh, you forgot to do this, this, and that. And I'm like, oh my God, thanks for the reminder. I didn't have to get my admin staff to do this. Like, thank you. Like, if you're watching me, keep watching because that's awesome. But I'm not thinking about you. I'm not thinking about, and I don't feel like, you know, Zervain's like, you know, like, and I don't have enemies. I don't. I personally, in my heart, don't have any enemies. I'm living each life to the fullest. I'm living in pure joy and I'm loving it. You know what I mean? I'm loving every aspect of it. When I'm not like in the best mood, it's because I haven't rested. I haven't used my, like this week was rough. Like yesterday was so rough. Servain's like, you don't, you know, look well, because I didn't take my own advice. I didn't rest. I was go, 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 go. I missed 2 days of meditation. I didn't take care of me. I didn't put me first to be the best version for everybody around me.
You got away from the balance because honestly, the balance is the key. And you hear this a lot, and it's true though. Like there has to be balance in your workouts. You can't overdo it.
100%.
But
and I sometimes overdo it. Like nothing. Yeah. Thank you, Tash, for always, you know, but I do it to myself where I was talking to Adam this week, Tasha's husband. So Tash does this online programming for me. Every month she sends my program for the month, and she challenges me. It's awesome. But I started realizing when I talked to Adam, I'm like, oh wait, I do like the 160 prisoners all at once. He's like, well, why don't you space it out? I'm like, oh, you're right. But in my mind, I'm like, I got to complete this. This is the hardest task. So I'm doing it to myself. Yeah. So it's not what Tasha's put together. It's me, myself, and my own personal battles, right?
Yeah, but you also need to give that rest time as
You're
well.
Right,
right?
I didn't.
And that's where you fall off. Correct. Because if you try to do too much, you know what's going to happen. The next day you can't walk. You're right. And you're not going to work out. That's the thing, right?
But you're tired. Like it's more, honestly, it's been the best, honestly, being on my own, going on my own. I'm so happy. Like I'm overjoyed. I can't even express how happy I am. Like the things that are to come, it's like the universe is completely blessing, right? And I feel blessed with the universe and what's happening, what's going to happen. There's so many announcements to be made. I honestly feel so lucky, right? But if I'm turning around exactly what you said, and I'm like, I got to work out 7 days a week. I have to work out really hard on those 7 days a week. I can't meditate right now. I got to focus on these 5 agents that need all this stuff. My agents need me in a good spot. Yeah. So meditation, Servain says it straight out, meditation, he's like, it makes you like a different human being, the way you react, the way you act, right? So he's right, you know, and you're like, it was an eye opener. Yesterday when I got home, honestly, I was so tired. I couldn't even, like, I was laying with all these blankets around me. I'm like, I'm done. It didn't matter if I took 10 energy drinks. I was not getting up off the couch, right? So, you know, and I did meditate, and it brought me, like, today, this morning, Zervain's like, wow, you're a totally different person. I'm like, thank God we have social media, right? So, you know, I started to worry because had it been yesterday, I'd have been like, Jamie, this is not going to work. But within a 24-hour period, like, everything was all right. And I always say, like, meditation kind of gives me a boost of energy where it's like, regardless if I'm that exhausted, if I do the 5-10 minute and I center myself and I feel every, you know, limb in my body, I'm going through nerves, and I'm focusing, it honestly gives me the energy to move forward. So when Edward came, told me about the meditation room, I find it funny because you're talking to me. I'm like, are you serious, Edward?
I'm actually surprised you haven't thought about that before.
I know. You know what? When he said it to me, I'm like, why didn't I think about it before? And Zervain was like, he's like, I don't know, should we do that? And I'm like, I know he's thinking in, Zervain's completely different than me. Like he's like the yin to the yang. He's
it's
like
okay.
The scale
It keeps the balance going.
It does. You know what? And I will go to him and argue and be like, yeah, whatever. Nobody wants to hear your story, but people do want to hear a story because Zervain is smart the way he words things, and he knows, right? I'm the spoiled child that's like, no, I want to do this, this, and that. And he's like, do you think we should? Like, do you think this is what we should do, right? So, but he does support everything I put forward. So, yes, he gives me the commentary. I just assume because it's like, obviously he's my husband, right? So I'm like, he's trying to kibosh me.
Whatever, Sylvain.
He's trying to kibosh me. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's, yeah. So, if you're in the area, if anybody's in the area and you want to come check out the meditation room, you're more than welcome to check it out. It's exciting. So, Jamie, I would highly recommend that you go and,
I'm doing a session right after.
All right. If you have any questions, comments that you want to, ask, or if you want to talk about meditation, we'll put Philip's credentials in as well. Philip is amazing. I totally love him. He has honestly been my mentor for like 4 years. I think it's 4 years or 3 years, somewhere along the lines. But he's amazing. He guides me through a lot of the stuff that I need. So we will put his credentials down. Yep. But for everybody else, if you have any questions, comments that you want to make, you're more than welcome to comment below. Hit the bell notification because that lets you know when I've dropped a video, right? So I've had somebody message me and they're like, you didn't drop the video. Like, I didn't know they knew times of when things got dropped. I'm like, this is amazing.
It's usually on Sundays, but sometimes,
Yeah, and we're on Spotify, which is exciting. But yeah, so if you want to subscribe, it's awesome. We're coming out with a ton of videos in the next little bit. I will be visiting people. I will have guests in. We were literally just settling into the new brokerage. So for everybody else, thank you so much for listening. I totally hold gratitude for everybody that, waits for these videos to drop. Thank you so much. I'm not advertising anybody. It's a black cup. What are we talking about today? It's my grand cul, tassi madame. Yeah, 100%. All right. Eh, cul grand. It's my husband, man. It's always my husband. It's Josephine. Stop calling me. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. All right. This is Real Talk with Carmen Costa. I felt like that was really loud.
That was really loud. Yeah.
I got way too excited. Let's start that one.
You don't need to. That's the reason for a microphone is that we don't have to yell, right? It amplifies your voice.
All right. Okay.
Rock this place.